Hello class, this is Tammy Burnett and this is my second career profile. This time I've chosen to highlight the career school psychologist, and the reason I've chosen that is because I currently have 4 kids in school and I spend a lot of time there. I see a lot of what goes on and I really enjoy the environment. And I think it'd be terrific to be able to work with my kids, work in my kids' school and have some free time in the summer to enjoy with them. An example organization is the Modesto City School District, and the address for that is 426 Locust Street, Modesto, California, 95351. And that's my local school district here where I live. I don't have a career contact for this profile, but the work environment is typically a 30 to 40 hour work week. You would generally be employed through a school district like Modesto City, or you could work for a child care, a preschool, or a daycare facility. And ironically, surprisingly to me, the preschool and the child care facilities tend to pay better than the school districts do. So that's something to keep in mind. When employed through a school district, there might also be some travel involved. You might be traveling between schools and not be employed just to work at a particular school. And there might also be some ongoing training where travel's involved. There is some flexibility permitted. I think you can kind of set your hours depending on what your needs are, and it depends on working with the school and deciding what will work for them and work for you. And in the summer you can often have time with your family. If you work for a school district, you'll get some summertime off with your family, which is a big plus. Typical stressors for this job would be typical for any job in this field. You have to deal with you have to deal with people, but in this case kids, who have psychological, emotional, and mental problems. And it can be emotionally draining and stressful because you have to help be the one to make it better and you want to do the right thing. Also, connecting students with resources outside of the school can be challenging because sometimes those resources are overextended and overtaxed and limited, so trying to find the help that is needed for the kids can be hard. The huge amount of paperwork and documentation can also be a bit overwhelming. Typical benefits: you generally would have health and retirement benefits, which is nice, and some paid continuing education and seminars can also be perks with the job. Common job tasks: role-playing would be common to try to encourage proper behavior with students, and you might counsel with and refer a student who has suicidal thoughts and anxiety, depression, and you might also refer them and have a chance to speak with their parent about their issues. A school psychologist duties are somewhat varied, but primarily they would identify, diagnose, and help to treat students with learning disabilities and mental disorders and other behavioral and cognitive issues that they're dealing with. There's a lot of documentation and paperwork involved, as I mentioned before, so that's a job duty as well. You frequently need to cross-collaborate with other members of a school or with a team, like a treatment team, or an individual education plan, IEP plan, helping to chart the progress and develop goals and implement a plan that will help the students to work toward those specific goals. Educational requirements: a master's degree minimum is required. In the area where I live, they actually want a specific degree in school counseling. So your master's would have to be that specific, and there is state licensing also required. California certification. A national certification is also available through NASP, which is the National Association of School Psychologists, and if you do get that credentialing, then it can benefit you in finding a job because it shows that you have a very desirable set of skills, so that's a good idea to get that credentialing as well. The starting salary can be between $45,000 and $51,000 annually, but there's a huge range in this salary, I'm finding. Experience salary range can be anywhere from about $65,000 to $120,000 annually, maybe even beyond that. In the school district where I currently live, when I researched jobs that were available, the pay salary was between $85,000 and $107,000. I do live in California, so maybe that's a little higher than a lot of areas. Some miscellaneous career information. Though the job is stressful, it's very rewarding being able to work with people and help with their problems, and specifically kids. I think we're often, a school psychologist would often be the first point of contact with a student who needs psychological services. So you get to kind of help with the initial process of getting students treated for whatever's needed. Let's see. Some additional information is that it is a much needed and in-demand profession, and the growth is expected to be 20% in the next 10 years, so that's a good foresight. Landing the first job can be difficult. Schools often want you to have experience before they'll hire you, and if you can't be hired without experience, it's kind of hard to get that experience. So one job professional suggested being flexible and taking a job in an area or location where you're not specifically excited to live. It's not the most desirable, but go ahead and take the position, get some experience, and after a year or so, you'll be a lot more marketable. So that's my profile. My source for this information was money.usnews.com/careers/best-jobs/school-psychologist. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.